The wine glass shattered against the marble floor, and everyone in the restaurant stopped talking. Sora stood frozen, her hands still extended from where she had been reaching for the glass. Red wine spread across the white tablecloth like blood, dripping onto Chairman Kim's custom Italian shoes. Across the table, Jun Seo's father stared at the mess with an expression that could have frozen the Han River. This was supposed to be a simple dinner, a casual introduction. Just Sora Jun Seo and his parents at a quiet restaurant in Cheongdam-dong. Nothing formal, nothing terrifying. I am so sorry, Sora said quickly, grabbing her napkin and leaning forward to dab at the wine. I did not mean to. My hand just slipped and... Miss O. Chairman Kim's voice was cold and precise. Sit down. She sat immediately, her face burning. Beside her, Jun Seo's hand found hers under the table and squeezed. But his father's eyes caught the movement, and something flickered across his face that made Sora's stomach drop. A waiter appeared instantly, cleaning up the mess with practiced efficiency. Another brought a fresh glass. The silence stretched on, heavy and suffocating, until Madam Kim spoke for the first time that evening. Accidents happen, she said gently, her voice cutting through the tension. I once spilled an entire pot of tea on the Prime Minister. These things pass. Chairman Kim said nothing, but his eyes remained on Sora, cold and assessing, like she was a quarterly report that was not adding up. Jun Seo cleared his throat. Father, as I was saying earlier, the Daesung penthouse redesign has received excellent press coverage. 3 architecture magazines have requested interviews with Miss O about the project. I am aware, the chairman said. I read the articles. Very impressive work, Miss O. You have quite the talent for transforming cold spaces into warm ones. There was something in his tone that made the compliment feel like criticism. Sora forced a smile. Thank you, sir. It was an honor to work on such an important project. Indeed. And tell me, how long have you been seeing my son? The question landed like a bomb. Sora's grip on her fork tightened. About 4 months, sir. 4 months. And you met through work? Yes, sir. How convenient. He took a sip of his wine. You must understand, Miss O, that my son's personal life has always been a matter of public interest. His relationships, his choices, they reflect on our family and on Daesung Group. People talk. Father, Jun Seo said, his voice tight, we discussed this. We did. And I told you I wanted to meet the woman who has captured my son's attention so thoroughly that he has started leaving board meetings early. The chairman's eyes never left Sora's face. So here we are, and I find myself wondering, Miss O, what exactly are your intentions with my son? Sora felt Jun Seo tense beside her, but she kept her voice steady. My intentions are to continue supporting him in any way I can, sir, both professionally and personally. Supporting him. How noble. The chairman set down his glass. And do you have any plans to marry? The restaurant seemed to go completely silent. Sora could hear her own heartbeat pounding in her ears. We have not discussed that yet, she said carefully. Perhaps you should. Marriage is not just a personal decision in families like ours. It is a business arrangement. A merger of assets, connections, and reputations. Tell me, Miss O, what exactly do you bring to such a merger? That's enough. Jun Seo's voice was cold, colder than Sora had ever heard it. We are leaving. He stood, pulling Sora up with him. His father remained seated, unmoved. Sit down, Jun Seo. No. I brought Sora here in good faith, hoping you would at least try to be civil. But clearly, that was too much to ask. I am being civil. I am simply asking the questions that everyone in our social circle will ask the moment this relationship becomes public. Then let them ask. I do not care. You should care. You are the CEO of 100 billion company. Your choices matter. And I choose her. Jun SEO's hand tightened on Sora's. I choose her over your approval, over social expectations, over everything. If you cannot accept that, then we have nothing more to discuss. For a long moment, father and son stared at each other. Then, Madam Kim spoke again, her voice soft but firm. Chanho, that is enough. Let them go. The chairman's jaw tightened, but he nodded once. Jun SEO led Sora out of the restaurant, his hand never leaving hers, and she did not look back. In the car, Sora's hands were shaking so badly she could not fasten her seatbelt. Jun SEO reached over and did it for her, his own hands steady, despite the fury still radiating from him. I am sorry, she whispered. I should not have spilled the wine. I should have been more careful. I ruined everything. You did not ruin anything. My father ruined it. He started the car, his knuckles white on the steering wheel. I should have known he would do this. I should have prepared you. He was just asking questions. He was interrogating you like you were some kind of criminal, like you were not good enough to be in the same room as him. Jun SEO's voice cracked slightly. You are worth 10 of him, Sora. 10 of all of them. She wanted to believe him, but the chairman's words kept echoing in her head. What exactly do you bring to such a merger? She brought talent, yes, hard work, but that was not what he meant. He meant family connections, old money, the kind of pedigree that Sora, the daughter of a middle-class family from Busan, would never have. Maybe he's right, she said quietly. Jun SEO slammed on the brakes so hard she jerked forward against the seatbelt. They were in the middle of an empty street, the city lights glittering around them. He turned to her, his eyes blazing. Do not say that. Do not let him make you doubt yourself. But he is not wrong, is he? I do not have connections. I do not have family money. I cannot help Daesung Group the way someone like Naun could have. All I have is my work and my love for you. And maybe that is not enough for your world. My world is wrong. He said it fiercely, desperately. My world is cold and empty and built on transactions instead of feelings. You make me feel human, Sora. You make me feel like my life is more than quarterly earnings and board meetings. That is what you bring. That is everything. She looked at him, this man who had fought for her in front of his father, who had walked out of that restaurant without hesitation, and felt her chest tighten. I love you. You know that, right? I know. I love you too. And I do not care what my father thinks. We will figure this out. But as Jun SEO drove her home, Sora stared out the window at the glittering Seoul skyline and wondered if love was really enough to bridge the gap between their two worlds. Minji called the next morning at 7 a.m. Sora answered groggily. What? Did you see the news? What news? Minji? It is 7 in the morning. Check your phone, now. Sora pulled up the news on her phone and felt her blood run cold. There, on the homepage of one of Korea's major business news sites, was a photo of her and Jun SEO leaving the restaurant last night. The headline read, Daesung heir spotted with mysterious designer girlfriend. Chairman disapproves? Oh no, she whispered. Oh yes. Someone at that restaurant took photos and sold them to the press. This is everywhere, Sora. Every major news site. The business channels are already speculating about whether this will affect Daesung's stock price. Sora's phone started buzzing with notifications. Texts, emails, missed calls. Her work email was flooded with interview requests from magazines and news outlets. Her personal Instagram, which had been private, somehow had 50 new follow requests in the past hour. What do I do? She asked. Nothing. Do not respond to anyone. Do not post anything. Do not even breathe wrong. This is Jun SEO's problem to handle, not yours. But, Sora, listen to me. You are not a public figure. You do not owe these people anything. Let Jun SEO's PR team deal with it. You just keep your head down and wait for it to blow over. But it did not blow over. By noon, the story had evolved. New articles appeared with headlines like, "Who is Sora? The woman who captured Korea's most eligible bachelor." They dug up her university records, her work history, photos from her Instagram that she thought were private. Someone found out she was from Busan and wrote an entire piece analyzing what it meant for a chaebol heir to date someone from outside Seoul's elite circles. The worst one came at 2 p.m. The headline read, "Daesung's Architectural Revolution. Did CEO Jun SEO promote his girlfriend?" It dissected every project Sora had worked on, questioned her qualifications, implied that she had only gotten the penthouse redesign because of her relationship with Jun SEO. Never mind that she had been hired 3 months before they even started dating. Never mind her spotless professional record. The narrative was set. She was the nobody who had seduced the CEO for advancement. Jun SEO called her 15 times. She did not answer. She could not. She sat on her apartment floor, staring at her phone as her entire career was dismantled in real time by strangers on the internet. At 6 p.m., someone knocked on her door. She knew it was Jun SEO before she even opened it. He stood in her hallway, still in his suit from work, his eyes dark with worry. "You have been ignoring my calls." "I needed time to think." "Sora, they are saying I slept my way into my job." Her voice was flat, exhausted. "They are saying I'm using you. They are questioning every project I have ever worked on."
My professional reputation is being destroyed because I had dinner with you. I know, and I'm fixing it. My PR team is drafting a statement. We are going to set the record straight, show your credentials, prove that it will not matter. She looked at him. You cannot prove someone's worth to people who have already decided they are worthless. All your statement will do is confirm that we are together, which will make everything worse. So what then? We just let them say whatever they want? I do not know Jun SEO, but I know that dating you has become the most defining thing about me in the public eye. Not my education, not my work, just the fact that I am your girlfriend, and that is not who I am. He stepped into the apartment, closing the door behind him. What are you saying? I'm saying that maybe we need to step back, just for a while, until this dies down. Step back? You mean break up? I mean take a break. Give the press nothing to write about. Let my work speak for itself again. Your work has always spoken for itself. These people are just looking for a story. And we are giving them one. Her voice broke. Every time we are seen together, every time you defend me, it just feeds the narrative that I need defending, that I am not good enough on my own. And I am tired, Jun SEO. I am so tired of fighting to prove that I deserve to be here. He was quiet for a long moment. Then he said, Do you love me? Of course I do. Then fight. Not to prove something to them. Fight because we are worth it. Because what we have is real and rare and worth more than their opinions. What if it is not enough? Then we will deal with that when we get there. But do not give up on us now, please. She looked at him, standing in her small apartment, with his expensive suit and his desperate eyes, and felt something crack inside her chest. Okay, but I need you to do something for me. Anything. Stop trying to protect me. Stop having your PR team fight my battles. If I am going to survive in your world, I need to do it on my own terms. I need to prove to myself that I can handle this. Not because you are shielding me, but because I am strong enough. He looked like he wanted to argue. But after a moment, he nodded. Okay, on your terms. If you are still watching this, If you are wondering whether Sora and Jun SEO can survive the pressure of public scrutiny and family disapproval, I need you to do something for me. Hit that subscribe button. Tap the bell icon so you do not miss what happens next, because things are about to get even more complicated. And drop a comment telling me, have you ever had to fight for something you believed in against everyone's expectations? Let me know. Now, let us get back to the story. Sora decided to fight back the only way she knew how, with her work. She threw herself into a new project, a community center redesign in Mapo that had nothing to do with Daesung or Jun SEO. She worked 16-hour days, barely ate, barely slept. Minji watched with increasing concern. "You're going to burn yourself out," she said, watching Sora sketch at 2 in the morning. "I cannot burn out. I have to prove that I am more than just Kim Jun Seo's girlfriend." "Sora, you already proved that. You have been proving it for 5 years. Why do you need to prove it again?" "Because apparently 5 years means nothing when you date the wrong person." Minji sighed. "For what it is worth, I think you are being too hard on yourself. And on Jun SEO. He knew this would happen. He knew what dating him would cost me. Did he? Because from where I sit, he is paying just as high a price. Have you seen the articles about him? They are calling him reckless, irresponsible, accusing him of letting his personal life interfere with business. His board is questioning his judgment. His father is threatening to remove him as CEO. Sora looked up sharply. "What? You did not know. It was in the Financial Daily this morning. Apparently, some board members think the negative publicity around your relationship is damaging Daesung's reputation. They are calling for a vote of no confidence." Sora's hands started shaking. No, this cannot be happening. He built that company. He gave everything to it. And now he is giving it up for you. So maybe stop pushing him away and start figuring out how to fight this together. Sora showed up at Jun SEO's office at 9 p.m. Secretary Huang looked up in surprise. "Miss O, he's still in a meeting." "I will wait." She sat in the waiting area for 40 minutes. When Jun SEO finally emerged from the conference room, he looked exhausted. His tie was loose, his hair disheveled, and there were shadows under his eyes that made him look years older. Then he saw her, and his entire face changed. "Sora, I heard about the board." His expression shuddered. "It is nothing, just politics." "It is not nothing. They are trying to remove you because of me," Sora said. "They are trying to remove me because they disagree with my expansion strategy." "You are just a convenient excuse," Jun SEO said. "I said it is fine." His voice was sharper than he intended. He took a breath, softening. "Sorry, it has been a long day." "Then let me make it better. Come on." "Where?" "You will see." She drove them to the rooftop of Daesung Tower, the same rooftop where they had shared ramen 6 months ago. The city sparkled below them, and the night air was cold but refreshing. "Why are we here?" he asked. "Because this is where it started. Where you told me I made spaces feel like something other than power. Where we stopped being CEO and architect and just became us." She took his hand. "And I need to remind you who you are. You're not just the board's CEO. You're not your father's son. You're Kim Jun SEO, the man who walked out of a restaurant because someone insulted me. The man who would quit everything rather than give me up. The man I fell in love with." His eyes were bright in the darkness. "Sora, I was wrong. I was so focused on proving myself that I forgot we are supposed to be a team. So, no more pushing you away. No more fighting alone. If we're going to survive this, we do it together. On our terms." He pulled her into his arms, holding her so tightly she could barely breathe. "I thought I was losing you. You are not losing me. You are stuck with me, even when it is hard, especially when it is hard. It is going to get harder. The board vote is in 2 weeks. If they remove me as CEO, I lose everything. The company, the reputation, the life I built." But you will still have me, and we will build something new, together. He laughed, but it sounded like a sob. How did I get so lucky? You brought me ramen at midnight. That is how. The next morning, Sora did something she had never done before. She gave an interview, not to a tabloid or a gossip magazine, to the Korean Architecture Journal, one of the most respected publications in her field. The journalist was professional, thorough, and completely uninterested in her relationship status. They talked about her design philosophy, her Daesung project, her vision for Korean architecture's future. The article came out 3 days later. The headline read, "Oh Sora, rising star in Korean architecture. Why her work speaks louder than any headline." It was a glowing profile that mentioned Jun SEO exactly once in the context of the Daesung project, and focused entirely on Sora's credentials and vision. The article went viral, not in the tabloid way, but in the professional way. Other architects shared it. Design firms commented on it. International publications picked it up. Within a week, Sora had 3 job offers from top firms, 2 speaking invitations for architecture conferences, and a commission request from a hotel chain in Singapore. More importantly, the narrative shifted. People stopped talking about her as Jun SEO's girlfriend and started talking about her as Oh Sora, the architect. Jun SEO called her the day the article came out. Have you seen this? I saw it. Sora, this is incredible. You did it. You changed the story. We did it. Your PR team helped set up the interview. Secretary Huang coordinated the timing. We did this together. Together, he repeated. I like the sound of that. The board vote happened on a cold Tuesday in December. Sora was not allowed in the meeting, so she waited in Jun SEO's office with Secretary Huang, both of them pretending to work while checking the clock every 30 seconds. The meeting lasted 4 hours. When Jun SEO finally walked through the door, his face was unreadable. Sora stood, her heart pounding. Well, he smiled. I am still CEO. She let out a breath she did not know she had been holding. What happened? My mother happened. She called an emergency shareholders meeting, reminded everyone that she controls 30% of Daesung shares, and made it very clear that any attempt to remove me would result in her selling those shares to our competitors. The board decided that keeping me was the lesser evil. Your mother did that. She did. And then she called me afterward and said, and I quote, "That architect of yours has backbone. Keep her." He shook his head in disbelief. I think my mother might actually like you. Sora laughed. That is not liking me. That is respecting me. There is a difference. I will take it. He pulled her into his arms. We survived, Sora. We actually survived. We did. But Jun SEO. Yes. This is not over. There will be more challenges. More people who disapprove. More obstacles. Are you sure you are ready for that? He cupped her face in his hands. I have never been more sure of anything. You and me. Whatever comes next. I am in. Me too, she whispered. Whatever comes next. 3 months later, Park Min-ji and Kim Jun-ho got engaged after the fastest courtship anyone in Seoul had ever witnessed. The announcement came at a family dinner, and both sets of parents were equally shocked. You have known each other for 5 months, Chairman Kim said, his eye twitching slightly. And we are very efficient, Jun-ho replied cheerfully, while Min-ji tried not to laugh. Later, when just the couples remained, Jun SEO raised his glass. To making our own choices. To choosing each other, Min-ji added. To love that is worth the fight, Sora finished, looking at Jun SEO. They clinked glasses, and outside the window, Seoul glittered like a city full of possibilities. And that is where their story ends. Or rather, where it begins, because love is never really an ending. It is just the start of something new. Sora and Jun SEO, Min-ji and Jun-ho, all of them learned that the hardest fights are the ones worth fighting, that sometimes the people who seem impossible are the ones most worth reaching for. If this story moved you, if you believed in them, then show me. Hit that like button. Subscribe so you never miss another story about people who fight for love against all odds. And drop a comment telling me which couple was your favorite. Was it Sora and Jun SEO or Minji and Junho? Thank you for watching. See you in the next story.